In the heart of a dense African rainforest stood the village of Amanku, a peaceful settlement known for its fearless hunters. Among them all, none was more respected than Obinna. Every morning before sunrise, Obinna disappeared into the forest with his bow and arrows, returning before sunset with meat for the village. The elders admired his courage, the children wanted to become like him, and the women whispered stories about the hunter who feared nothing. But deep inside Obinna's heart lived a dangerous pride. He believed no spirit, no beast, and no force of nature could ever defeat him. One evening, while sitting beside the village fire, an old elder warned him. "Never hunt near the forbidden river," the elder said carefully. "They say a powerful goddess lives beneath its waters." But Obinna only laughed. "A river spirit?" he mocked. "I fear no ghost hiding in water." That night, thunder rumbled across the sky, and somewhere deep in the forest, the river began to glow. The next morning, Obinna entered the forest alone. The deeper he walked, the quieter the jungle became. Birds stopped singing, the wind no longer moved. Even the insects seemed to disappear. But Obinna ignored every warning sign. Soon he reached a strange part of the forest where giant trees twisted toward the sky like ancient spirits. Then he saw it, fresh antelope tracks leading toward the forbidden river. A smile crossed his face. "This will be my greatest hunt yet," he whispered. As he followed the tracks, he suddenly noticed strange symbols carved into trees, cowries tied to branches, broken clay pots near the riverbank. The elders had spoken the truth, but instead of fear, excitement filled Obinna's heart. The hunter stepped closer to the water, and beneath the surface, something moved. The river suddenly became still. Then the water slowly began to rise. Obinna stepped backward as glowing blue light spread across the river's surface. From beneath the water emerged a woman, unlike anything he had ever seen. Her silver-black braids floated like water. Her glowing eyes pierced through the darkness, and every step she took caused ripples of light to dance across the river. Obinna tightened his grip on his bow. "Who are you?" he demanded. The woman looked at him silently. Then she spoke. "I am Neka, guardian of this river." Her voice echoed like wind through the trees. "You were warned not to come here." But Obinna refused to bow. "I hunt where I choose," he replied proudly. The goddess stared deeply into his eyes. "You carry pride like fire," she said, "and pride destroys everything it touches." The river suddenly roared, the sky darkened, and for the first time in years, fear entered Obinna's heart. Obinna refused to apologize. Instead, he raised his bow toward the goddess. The forest shook violently. Winds exploded through the trees. Before he could release the arrow, invisible force threw him backward into the mud. His bow snapped in half. The goddess stepped closer. "You have disrespected the spirits of this land," she said. "For your arrogance, your strength shall leave you." Suddenly, Obinna's body became weak. His arms trembled, his vision blurred, and the mighty hunter collapsed to the ground helpless. Panic filled his eyes. "Please," he whispered. But the goddess turned away. "When humility enters your heart," she said softly, "return to the river." Then she disappeared beneath the water, leaving Obinna alone in silence. Days passed. Obinna could no longer hunt. His strength had vanished completely. The villagers watched in shock as the once fearless hunter struggled even to walk. Whispers spread throughout Amanku. "The river goddess has punished him." Some feared him, others mocked him. Soon hunger entered his home. The proud hunter who once fed the village now depended on others for survival. One night, Obinna sat alone outside his hut staring at the moon. For the first time in his life, he understood the pain of helplessness. Tears filled his eyes. Not because he lost his strength, but because he finally realized how pride had blinded him. Far away in the darkness, the river glowed softly once again, as though waiting for him. Before sunrise, Obinna made a decision. He would return to the river, not as a proud hunter, but as a humble man seeking forgiveness. Slowly, he walked through the forest carrying no weapons, only a small calabash of offerings. As he approached the forbidden river, the forest felt different. The wind moved gently. Birds sang once more, and sunlight danced peacefully across the water. Obinna knelt beside the riverbank. "I was foolish," he said quietly. "I believed strength made me greater than others." He lowered his head. "Please forgive me." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then soft ripples appeared on the river, and the goddess slowly rose once again. Neka stood silently before him. This time, Obinna could not even look directly into her glowing eyes. The goddess studied him carefully. Then she spoke. "Words are easy," she said, "but true humility is proven through action." Suddenly, the river began to swirl violently. A young child appeared in the rushing water, struggling to survive. Without hesitation, Obinna jumped into the river. The current was powerful, stronger than anything he had ever faced, but instead of fighting for himself, he fought to save the child. The hunter pushed through the violent waters until finally he reached the boy. Holding the child tightly, Obinna dragged him safely back to shore. Exhausted, he collapsed beside the river. The goddess smiled for the first time. "You have changed," she whispered. The storm disappeared instantly. The river became calm once more. Neka stepped toward Obinna and gently touched his forehead. Blue light surrounded the hunter's body. Warm energy flowed through his arms and chest. Slowly, his strength returned. But this time, it felt different. Not like power, but like peace. "You were never cursed because you were strong," the goddess explained. "You were cursed because you believed strength made you untouchable." Obinna listened carefully. "The greatest warriors," she continued, "are those who protect others, not themselves." The hunter bowed deeply, and for the first time in his life, he truly understood wisdom. When Obinna returned to the village, the people gathered in disbelief. The weak hunter they had seen days earlier now walked with calm confidence. But something about him had changed. The pride in his eyes was gone. In its place was wisdom. From that day forward, Obinna hunted only what the village needed. He helped the weak, fed hungry families, and treated even the poorest villagers with kindness. Soon the people began telling new stories about him. Not stories about the strongest hunter, but stories about the man who learned humility from the river goddess. And deep within the forest, the river continued to glow beneath the moonlight. The elders of Amanku would later teach their children an important truth. Pride may make a person feel powerful, but humility is what truly gives strength, for even the greatest hunter can fall. And sometimes, wisdom is hidden in the places we fear the most. So whenever the moon shines brightly over quiet rivers, the people of Amanku still remember the story of Obinna and the river goddess, a story reminding generations that true greatness comes not from power, but from the heart. As the moon rises over silent rivers and ancient forests, the story of Obinna reminds us of something powerful. Strength without humility can destroy a man, but wisdom, kindness, and the courage to change can restore even the broken. Deep within every African folktale lies a lesson carried through generations, and somewhere beneath the glowing waters, perhaps the river goddess still watches. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more magical African folktales, moonlight legends, wisdom stories, and unforgettable adventures.